This woman's got some explaining to do. So is that guy right there next to her. Somebody explain to me why she's so happy. Somebody explain to me why that this woman can go shopping and walk on her legs, not even have one IV, one drainage tube, not even look like she's even on medication for pain and to keeping the pain away from her. Somebody explain to me how in the hell that this woman could be legitimately an amputee who lost her legs in a bombing blast. It's impossible, ladies and gentlemen, for her to even be this happy. First of all, it's a life-altering thing. What do I need to do? Spell this out for you? See, these people have got some explaining to do. I've told you all, they are way too happy. This is a definitely 100% fraud, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how else that I can explain this to you. All I can do is try to show you, point it out to you, but I cannot make you accept what I'm trying to show you. I can only make a point and show that point and hope to God it will wake you up. That's all I can do. Okay? Here we have video evidence that this entire event was a fraud. The marathon was real. They did have a marathon in Boston, Massachusetts. There is no arguing that. But what we're arguing is I want you to pay attention to this little thing right here. This right here indicates that the race is over. Watch.
One thing when runners come across with their featherweight shoes and their shorts and maybe no shirt, and then you have a couple of fellows like this Staff Sergeant and Private First Class. Introduce yourselves for me.
I'm Staff Sergeant Mattel from HHD Joint Force Headquarters. Private First Class Air out on 1 Brockton.
And you both ran this race. Not only are they in full BDUs, but...
There. I want you to look at that right there. It says wheelchair, complete. Women, complete. Men, complete. Including the Army was the last ones. The Army were the last ones to go through the finish line. Then, after the race is over, they start to take down the monitor from the event, because the event is over. This is usually what happens when an event's over. They start breaking down the stage, okay? But the race was over at 3:30, which was an hour before almost an hour before the bomb blast happened, okay? So somebody explain to me why we still see runners. Watch this next clip. You see, in my last video, I told you all that this monitor right here that you've seen on this wall disappeared off that wall when that blast had blown off. There was no monitor there before that blast had blown off, which indicated this monitor, which you're all looking at right here that I'm putting my mouse over. This monitor plays as the marker or the pivot point that indicates that the race was over. If the monitor was there during the blast, and that would have meant that these runners that you see when that blast happened was meant that the race was still continuing, but exactly in the moment of this race. But because that monitor was not there, indicated that the blast happened after the race was over, and means that the last runner had already went through that finish line. So the question was, back to what I was saying to you all, is why was the runners there, which I showed you in that last video. So in that last video clip. So look at this right here. Okay, keep watching this. I'm going to keep looping it for just a second. Okay, watch.
2 hours after the winners crossed.
Okay, there.
4 hours
You'll see here now.
The amateur runners still filling.
Right here. Okay, right here. The monitor's gone. But you still see runners here. Okay. There's one with a prosthetic on his leg right here. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that the race has been long over, but they're trying to make it look like the race was still continuing. But there's one little problem is that this monitor not being there indicated that the race had been long over before a blast had happened, which meant that they intended to create 2 separate events. One was to have the race, but to create the training exercise after the race was over. but to make it look like the race was still continuing, that they would, so that they would use these. This is how that they would use these trained, actors to act out as if they were part of the race. But these guys were clearly not a part of the race, and I have shown you several different footages proving that these guys were nothing but hired actors. But now you can see here how the monitor is gone. The race is over. We've seen that at the beginning of this video clipping, just right before this one, we showed you that the race was complete. You can see on the teletext below where the reporter was speaking on the monitor, you can see that it showed it was complete. The race was finished. And I even have video footage to prove that the race was complete, because they even have the road blocked off so that they can get that sign taken down. And this is what we happen to caught. So I'm going to loop this for a couple of times so you can see it disappearing. Ready? Go ahead. Watch this. There's the blast, okay? So it meant that the blast happened after the race. And there's the monitor.
4 hours, 9 minutes into the race. The amateur runners still filling Boston's Boylston Street.
Okay. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's no point in reasons to take down a monitor before the race is finished, because the race is still an ongoing event. They would never do that. They would take the monitor down after everyone clears out of there and after the race is clearly over with. But there's no reason why that we see that this monitor is gone, other than to indicate that they were conducting a separate a separate event that was not connected to the Boston Marathon. And this also shows that this was a lie, a deception that they were doing, because these actors that were acting like they were part of this marathon, which clearly shown they were not part of the marathon. It clearly showed that the marathon was finished. And this is what we were trying to show you, that this was a fraud. It was an exercise, a training exercise that literally went live on purpose so that they can now bring military to work with law enforcement over a fraudulent event that did not happen. We showed you at the beginning amputees that were just simply too happy, going shopping right at 2 weeks after having their legs blown off, but simply did not have no drainage tube, no IVs, not even indicating from day one, since they did the first telecast, that the victims had even had an IV administered in their bodies with drugs. Because if you had your legs blown off, you would be highly sedated with drugs, morphine drugs, stuff that would take that pain away. And you would not be happy at all. You would be extremely, very angry, depressed, and extremely incoherent because of the reality that you lost your leg. You would be depressed because it's a life-altering event that happened with you if you lost your legs in the same accord as what these people claimed they had done. But we clearly show evidence, overwhelming evidence, that they did not lose their legs on this event. And that proves to you all that this entire Boston crap was a pure fraud. Now, you're going to see so much crap in this next video that you're going to be blowing your minds with everything that I'm about to show you in this next video. Get ready, because it's about to rumble, guys. It is about to get really insane about what I'm about to show you, because it's going to go back to the videos that we made on Anonymous. You're going to find out that the very people, these Hollywood amputee actors, were using this event. No matter what they try to say, they were there. And that we also have a lot more than that. You're going to be blown when you get to see this new evidence that we found here today and yesterday when we were doing heavy research on all this information, showing you a lot more. So get ready. Here it goes. I'm going to make part 2 of this, okay? So you can see it's going to get so freaking crazy, guys. You have no idea. Just wait patiently and I'll get the other video up, okay?